Shalom. First and foremost, as always, we're going to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Katadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, who and teach what prevent the truth from. And peace, mercy, and blessings to the hope of the elect that believe in the truth and sincerity. We the brothers from the GMS, Cleveland Virtues, Brother Yahweh Khan. Come back with the spirit of power of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. The Lord willing, this be an edifying lesson, through the spirit. As the title reads, let thine eye be single. Let thine eye be single, which that's quoting Yahweh Shai. That's quoting Yahweh Shai in Matthew the 6th chapter, which we just gonna get right into it. And you can speak on it. It's Matthew chapter 6 and verse 22. It says, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Matthew 6 and 22, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
So pretty much what Yahweh Shai is saying is, if you focus, this gonna show, right? Whatever you put your focus on, it's pretty much you're gonna your actions, your mannerisms is gonna show forth, man. We in this thing, we're supposed to be focused on what? Our eyes supposed to be focused on what? This knowledge, this truth, okay, this doctrine, sound doctrine, because we know in the book of Isaiah 33 it says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Okay, that should be your main focus, man. Okay, nothing else. We was just going into this. We did a lesson on that about the virgins. Okay, the parable of the virgins, the talents. Okay, a virgin. Okay, is going to be somebody who's focused on one man. Jake, in this thing, sometimes you get, sometimes you can get distracted by, it really be Satan. You get distracted by Satan. The next thing you know, you falling back, man. And then you getting the doctrine wrong. Okay, you're not focused, man. Okay, that's when it means your body is full of darkness, man. Okay, you just completely not keeping up with what's going on in your surroundings, man. You focused on other things, the philosophies, whatever it may be that Satan is putting in front of you, man.
Because they got a saying in the world, the eyes is the window to the soul. So when they say that eye be single, it's talking about your spirit, your mind. And single meaning being completely focused, on one thing. So I'm gonna read it again.
Right, that's where you get the word tunnel vision. Locked in.
It says Matthew 6 and 22, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. So if you focus on the Lord, then your actions and the way you carry yourself, the things and it all starts in your mind. The things you think it's gonna be revolving around the Lord. How can you show that you is focused on the Lord? Verse 23. But if thine eye be evil, so if your focus is on things outside of the ministry, things outside of serving Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? Meaning what? If your focus is on something outside of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, it's gonna be obvious. It's gonna be clear. It's gonna be easy to see. That's why he said, how great is that darkness? When somebody ain't in the spirit. That's what it tells you in Malachi, the 3rd chapter. The Lord said, after we return, just roughly paraphrasing the last couple verses, then we be able to discern between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not. Because it's either one or two ways that you walk. You either walk in the light, the path of the light, or you walking in darkness. And Yahushua said, he that walketh in darkness knoweth not where he's stumbling.
Because we're entering into times where the Lord said the eyes of the Lord are in every place beholding the good and evil. The Lord is about to start exposing who's really not about this truth. Okay, this is why you see the Lord is making examples out of men. He's been making examples out of men that's in this thing for the last since before we even came into this thing. But he's making it more known through the judgments, man. Because if you don't get the doctrine correct, the Lord will judge you for that, man. and this is severity of having your eyes single, man.
I'm gonna read it in NLT, Matthew 6:23. But when your eyes bad, your whole body is filled with darkness. And if the light you think you have is actually darkness, how deep that darkness is. And you see that, okay? You got people switching up the names, okay, switching up the doctrine, and they think that it's the light. And it shows you how great that darkness is, because they really think that's the light, but that's what they focus is on. They focus on whatever it is that got them doing that, which ultimately is the left-hand spirits. Because like the brother was making mention of early on, a lot of times, all the time it be Satan. Okay, he come in different forms. It could be a job, okay, that's paying you a lot of money. You might have a nice car. It might be a woman. You know, you had to go so long without a woman. Once the Lord replenish you with one, she taking your focus away from the ministry. It could be whatever it is. And once your focus shift from the Lord, it's not gonna be hard to hide it. It's like it's gonna be hard to hide it. You know, it's not gonna be easy. Salaki, you got it.
This is the book of Proverbs 20. Right, it's not gonna be easy for you to conceal what you've been doing behind closed doors. I believe he said that in Luke. He said pretty much, you know where I'm going with this.
I'll read it. It's Luke chapter 8 and verse 17. It says, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest.
Right.
Neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad."
Right. If Esau, Edom, the so plain white man who's ruling, if he's been exposed, how much a man of the Lord who's faking it, man? Okay. And that's a more severe crime than Esau, man. Well, I ain't gonna say it's more severe crime, but it is a severe penalty for you faking it, man. Okay. Because you have been called to do the work. Okay, this should be your only focus, man. It's no coincidence that the Lord has called. He has called us. All right, if you have this knowledge, this truth, if you are under the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, it's not a coincidence that you have been called, man. This is your calling, man. It's to make your calling and election sure. How are you gonna do that? By staying on task, man. Locked in, man. Hey, this shit is about to be. This shit is over with, man. All right, we see it. It's playing out right before our eyes, man. I got this Proverbs 20 and 27. It says, "The spirit of a man is the candle of the Lord."
So, let me read this real quick. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 12. "And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles." And what is Jerusalem? It's a people before it's a place. You know, because the city is made up of its inhabitants. So the inhabitants of Jerusalem is Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native, and Seminole Indians. So it says, "And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles." And how is the Lord searching through his people? With candles. That's the spirit of the Lord dwelling within the men that he set up. Okay, that's bringing certain things that light a brother might slip. Okay, in the doctrine, then the Lord put the spirit on another brother to see it and bring it to light. That's him searching Jerusalem with candles. It says, "And punish the men that are settled on their leaves." And what does it mean to be settled on your leaves? To be complacent, to be comfortable and not improving when you go into it. Okay, you become slothful and lazy.
Right, you're doing the bare minimum. Right, we were talking about that the other day. You know, they say that the apostles gave out an order to do 3 videos a week. When you really could be doing more, and you know you could be doing more, man. It's just that you want to do the bare minimum, so you pretty much you can please the flesh. All right, we're seeing that being manifested. Man. You can tell. Hey, brother mentioned that Cap last week. You know, brother Pond said you can tell who pretty much is reading. Okay, you can tell because your actions are shown forth. And your speech too, because the scriptures say, as the ear try of words, as the mouth takes the meat. I'm paraphrasing. So you gonna know who's really being studious, who's really being a stoic, who's really in the spirit.
Since you said that, I'm gonna read this real quick. It's Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20. "To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them." So when got when you see somebody going off, okay, mixing up the doctrine and breaking down the scriptures wrong, it's because the word is not in them. The light is not in them. You know, and you see that manifest. Going back to what you were just saying, you would know when the light is inside somebody. Because first and foremost, the light got to be inside you, but then it'll be made manifest. I'm gonna go back to Zephaniah 1:12, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their leaves. So that goes back to being comfortable. You can't never get too comfortable. The scriptures say, work out those salvation with fear and trembling. When you go to the word trembling, the Greek word is traumas, which it goes back to basically, you know, you can't meet the requirements, but you still try in hopes that you please the person you're trying to please. So in relation to the truth, we're trying to please Yahweh Shema Shah. And we know that we can't do enough, but we still try. Instead of just having that mindset to where you like, okay, I did enough for the Lord this week. I'm gonna just sit back. No, you can't do that. That's off. That's not fear and trembling. It says that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. And that's what that mindset results in. You thinking that the Lord is not going, he won't punish you. You know, he ain't gonna do nothing. That's how a majority of our people think. They think that the Lord been hiding himself for so long that now that he raised up his men and he is condemning them, that he's still not gonna do nothing. That's why the scripture tell you, Ecclesiastes 8:11, how the sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily. So that's why people get complacent. You know, that their hearts is fully geared to doing evil.
This is Proverbs 20:27. The spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. And the belly represents your mind. Okay? The Lord said in Revelation 3, he said, when he will sup with you, roughly paraphrasing, right? Which means he will tell you all his inner thoughts, right? Right? If you can grab that, you know. Hey, once you find out that, the Lord, you will know whether it's focused if you go into the mysteries, history, you know, he's writing down notes, you know, he's coming to the study, writing down notes. You know, you don't have to be repetitive to this man because he's retaining all the information because he's focused, man. Revelation 3 when it's talking about I will sup with him.
Revelation chapter 3, in verse 20, it says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him and he with me.
Right. Yeah, how does the Lord knock? Where is he knocking at your mind, your spirit? And this is how the Lord is speaking. He's not going to speak to you face to face. And if he does, it's through men of the Lord, okay? And those men of the Lord, are they not locked in? Hey, Paul said, be ye as of me, as I am a follower of Yahweh Shah. Every man should be on one accord in this thing, man. Can you read that again?
Revelation chapter 3, in verse 20, it says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me.
Right, and you about to go to the word sup. Sup pretty much is the Lord said, and you know, he's having a wedding, he's having a dinner, roughly paraphrasing. I'm sure that's what the word sup go into.
Diapneo, G1172, diapneo. It says, in the Strong's definition, to dine, i.e. take the principle or evening meal.
Right, what is that, Proverbs 8 or 9?
You want me to go to that?
No, it should be more on that. It's not?
No, that's it.
Alright, you done
it says, I will make him to share, it says, in an allegory, this is the third Greek lexicon, I will make him to share in my most intimate and blissful intercourse.
Man, most intimate. Those are the mysteries, the secret, mysterion, which means those initiated, the secrets initiated to, paraphrasing that definition. You have to be initiated to this, man. Okay, in order to understand the mysteries, once again, you gonna have to be focused, man. Okay, tend to the Lord. Hey, Paul said he'd rather you tend to the Lord without distraction. That's dealing with women, but you can apply that to anything in life, man.
Because just because the Lord might not be attacked using Satan to attack you through women, don't mean he won't come through another avenue. You know, it could be through anything. You gotta extrapolate. You know, you can't be simple. Just because a brother might say something, don't think it don't apply to you. It might apply to you in another way because ultimately it's the Spirit speaking to you. I got one. This First Thessalonians in chapter 3. I believe it is. Yeah, First Thessalonians chapter 2 in verse 11, it says, "As ye know how we exhorted and comforted and charged every one of you, as a father doth his children, that ye will walk worthy of the Most High, who hath called you unto his kingdom and glory." So you gotta walk in a way to prove to Yahweh Bashim Shah that you are worthy to be delivered in the taste of the kingdom on the first go round. Because it said, "Who have called you." And what did Yahweh Shah say? Many are called, but few are chosen. So that's the importance. That put emphasis on the importance of walking worthy. Because a lot of people may get called to the supper. Okay, the Lord might knock at the door, but that don't mean that they're gonna actually have a chance to eat the fullness of the meal, so to speak. That they're gonna get delivered. That's why you gotta work out your salvation with fear and trembling and do the works to back up your faith.
Right, because this is a marathon, right? Paul said that in 1 Corinthians the 9th chapter. This is a race. You see, in a race, what are you focused on? You focus on getting to the finish line. You finish on running through that tape. Okay, you're not going to be worried about who's on the left side or the right side or what's behind you. You see, you're going to be focused on that tape, man. All right? And the tape is what? Being delivered out of America, Babylon, and Great. And the only way you're going to be able to be delivered is if, first and foremost, if you're preordained and predestined from the foundations of the earth. And also having the 100% truth.
You got something?
Go to Sirach 6 and 18.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 6, and verse 18. It says, "My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom to thine old age." Come. It says, "Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon." And it said, "Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth," speaking of wisdom. And when plowing is planting seed, you know, and that's what sowing is as well. Well, plowing is actually breaking up the ground, okay, and then sowing is planting the seed. But guess what? That's a process. So it requires what? Patience, you know, long suffering. It's not gonna come overnight. You got to actually put in the hard work. You got to actually study. You got to actually go into words. You got to actually read. You got to go into the history so you can understand the mystery. This is all a part of plowing and sowing. And then it said, "And wait for her good fruits." Where it says, "For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon." And sooner or later, the Lord is going, your prophet is going to appear unto all, like Paul told Timothy.
And then also, what Yahweh shall say, "No man looking back." It's when you're plowing, if you look back, you can lose your life, man. You know, because when you plow, you use 2 oxen, right? And those oxen is, the oxen are very hard-headed animals, okay, which they can drift off and do their own things. If you drift to the left or right, if they drift to the left or right, it can cause you to lose your life, man. And this is why, once again, you have to remain focused on the task at hand, man. All right, we see all these prophecies coming to pass. This should make you lock in even more. Because we know that judgment to the whole world is coming, especially to those that know that they're Israelites, man. If that doesn't put fear in you, man, then that's a reprobate spirit on you, man.
next verse, Sirach 6:20. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. Those people that don't know about the scriptures, when we tell them about the scriptures, which is wisdom or the spirit of Yahweh Shemashah speaking through us, is unpleasant unto them. Why? Because they unlearn. And it says, he that is without understanding will not remain with her. So you might obtain her for a minute, but if you don't truly understand the severity of dealing with wisdom and how it comes with grief and sorrow and what comes with being in this truth, then the spirit is not going to stay with you. It's going to end up leaving you. That's why I say he that is without understanding will not remain with her. I'm read this. It's 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 13. I'm sorry, verse 12. It says, let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. So this is Paul speaking to Timothy, which this applies to the elect as a whole in these latter days. He said, be an example of the believers. Somebody has to show what it looks like to believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah. And it's going to be manifest in different ways. He said in word, meaning what? The way you teach, what you teach, not the way you teach, but what you teach, you know, the doctrine you speaking, that got to be an example. It says in conversation, which is what? That goes back to the way you carry yourself off camera, that you got to be an example. It says in charity, that goes into love, you know, how you deal with your fellow believers. You got to be an example of that. Because we got the example of what it looks like to be a nigga, okay, to be wicked. And then it's going to be an example of what it looks like to be a man of the Lord. It says in spirit, in faith, in purity. In verse 13, till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. It says give attendance, which means what? When you go into it, it's G4337, Proseko. It says to attend oneself to, i.e. to give heed to oneself, to apply oneself to, attach oneself to, hold or clear to a person or thing. And when you go into it, it's basically going into being addicted. So you got to be addicted to reading, to watching videos, to conversing with brothers and getting corrected and things like that. And ultimately to the doctrine of Yahweh B'Shem Shah. That's what comes out every time a brother speaks. It's the doctrine. The doctrine is what? The teaching of Yahweh B'Shem Shah.
Right, because this is ultimately, hey, what did the Lord tell? What did Joshua tell him? Choose you this day who you will serve. He also says in I think it's in Deuteronomy, Moses says, choose you life or death from prepared way. You gotta understand what you're a part of. It's like the elder Itazwan said in Atlanta. He said, man, it's blood on this. This is not something you want to play around with. You want to be fully persuaded, right? You grab that too. Being fully persuaded also goes into your eye being seen. See? And then you can grab the word persuade too.
This is the book, I believe, the book of Romans chapter 14. Romans chapter 14 and verse 5. It says, one man esteemeth one day above another, or another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind.
Right.
You know, it said, because going back to during that time, you had some Israelites, they were saying, oh, this day means more to us than that day, and some didn't really care for the same day. But the Apostle Paul was saying you got to be fully persuaded in your own mind. You got to know what you believe. You know, in the latter days, you know, equating it to what the brother was saying, you got to be fully persuaded that this is the truth, this is the doctrine, these are the men that the Lord set up. Because you got people out here that don't believe that. So you got, but if you fully persuaded, that's going to keep you from swaying. You know, because being fully persuaded, that's synonymous with being rooted. You know, being founded.
And like if you a man. Let's say, for instance, you have no children, you have no bills, okay, you have no, let's say, responsibility, right? It's no reason why you should be lacking in the scriptures. No reason you should be lacking in the doctrine, I should say. Okay, the scriptures say, talk about having leisure, which means pretty much off free time, and that free time was given to you by the Lord so you can come nigh unto Him, man, because He knows that you need it to be built up. He knows that you are falling behind. You're missing class. Okay, you're not breaking down the scriptures all the way down. You see, the Lord is calling you to sup with Him. If you're a man with no responsibilities, man, and Jake, you got to consider that, man. You have to be in the spirit. You have to look at things with a spiritual eye, man.
This is the word for persuaded. It says to fill one with any thought, conviction, or inclination. When you go into the word conviction, it's a firmly held belief or opinion. You know, firm, which that's synonymous with stiff. Going back to, can't nobody make you waver, can't nobody change your mind because you firmly believe that this is this. They might say it's that, but I know that it's this. That's being persuaded. Okay, it says to make one certain, to be fully convinced or assured. You know, which assured goes back to confidence. So you got to be fully confident that this is the truth. You're following the sound doctrine, and that the Lord is dealing with you. Ultimately, because Satan come through different avenues to make you feel like the Lord is not dealing with you, and that causes you, if you start to condemn yourself and fall underneath that condemnation, that causes you to follow the avenues. Next thing you know, the Lord really not dealing with you. That's why, going back to the title lesson, let thy eye be seen, you got to stay focused. Because the Lord might allow a woman to come into your life just to see if you're going to stay focused, just to prove you. That's what happened with when we went to the promised land with Joshua, he left remnants of the Canaanites there. It was to see if Jake was going to follow their ways because they were still there. So he left them there for that reason. He said that I was leaving there to prove you, roughly paraphrasing. So it all go back to being fully persuaded. You know, your eye being single, being focused. So Lord willing, we hope and pray this is edifying through the Spirit. Closing, we're going to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Kakadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who and teach well, where we let this truth from, and peace, mercy, and blessings to the whole of the lake. I believe in this truth and sincerity. The next time we say, come out, Shalom.